What's up, my comic comrades? The third issue of the Hush 2 story arc in Batman 160 just revealed that Jason Todd is dying, and that's why he's working with Hush. It's a crazy issue with some big reveals on the first 5 pages, so let's just get right into it. Now, the issue picks up exactly where issue 159 left off, so if you haven't read that issue or watched our video on it, you could do so by clicking the link right here. But in short, Jason Todd, Red Hood, broke into the Batcave, knocked Batman out, and stole the Joker's body, which Batman was keeping on life support in his cave. Issue 160 then picks up with Batman now conscious again, watching the video replay of the incident from the cameras in the Batcave. He says to himself, out of anger, Jason struck me down. Need to find out what happened between then and now. As he watches Jason knock him out, he hears Jason say, "I wish I could say I was sorry, Bruce, but you brought this on yourself." A voice then says to Jason, "Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom." Jason responds, "Why are you whispering? We're the only ones here. It's annoying," as we see Hush walk out saying, "You did what needed to be done." Batman, while watching, says, "Jason is with Hush as I suspected. In my home. The betrayal." Jason was always unpredictable, an arrogance that I had hoped he would outgrow since his return, since adopting the Red Hood identity. We then see via the video replay Jason point his gun at the Joker's unconscious body saying, "This is where it ends." But Hush then throws a scalpel into the barrel of Jason's gun saying, "Jason, this is just the beginning." Jason then points the gun at Hush, with Hush replying, "Take your best shot if you want to lose your hand when the pistol backfires and explodes." We've been over and over this. We need the Joker alive, so everyone could see the choice Batman made to save his life when he didn't save yours. Give me the gun so I could take the scalpel out. So that's wild. Apparently, a part of Hush's plan is to show the world that Batman is not willing to do what needs to be done and kill the Joker, and that he saved the Joker's life, but not Jason's all those years ago. That's actually pretty interesting, and I'm curious to see how that's going to play out. In any case, Jason replies to Hush about getting the scalpel out of the gun, saying, "I got it, thanks," by pistol whipping him. Hush then says, "We both know you need my help. These fits of rage, the cerebral pain you're hiding. Your brain is deteriorating. There was too much damage, even for the Lazarus Pit to repair." Curious, though, that as you lay dying in his arms, he didn't think to call me, his childhood friend and the best brain surgeon in the world. When Bruce cracked his own skull open, mine was the first number he dialed. Jason replies, "Nice. Did you add that last part for me or for the surveillance cameras?" Now let's pause yet again, because this is a crazy reveal. If Hush is telling the truth, apparently Jason is working with Hush because he has a deteriorating brain that not even the Lazarus Pit could repair when it brought him back to life all those years ago. Not only that, it's his deteriorating brain that's apparently causing his fits of rage. So Jason is apparently the loose cannon he is because his brain never fully healed. And on top of that, Jason Todd, the second Robin, the Red Hood, is apparently dying, and Hush is the only one who could save him, being the amazing surgeon that he is. But we still have to take everything he just said with a grain of salt, because this could be all part of his plan to throw off Batman. Batman even says after watching the footage, anything Hush said could be the truth or part of his twisted game. Where did they take the Joker? Is there something wrong with Jason? Stole the car, left a single scalpel. Damascus Steel. He knew I would remember. Yeah, this is getting really interesting, so let's see where this takes us. But first, I also know you're sweating this Superman jersey I'm wearing. Don't worry, I'm gonna tell you where I got it, because you deserve some fresh drip as well, and our friends at Spirit Jersey, today's sponsor, can have you ready for Superman summer with all the dope fan gear you can handle. In fact, this Superman jersey I'm wearing is part of their DC Universe collection, which has several items that I'm all about. I'm looking at you, Catwoman. Anyway, the whole collection is a tribute to DC's most iconic characters, both heroes and villains, with collectible high-quality Spirit jerseys made for every kind of DC fan. And of course, with Superman returning to the big screen this July, Spirit Jersey is welcoming back the Man of Steel in style with several pieces from the collection. This Krypton-born Earth-raised Spirit Jersey has a bold red aesthetic, Kryptonian language script on the sleeve, and nods to Superman's origin story. Then we have this blue Superman in the Daily Planet jersey with the centered Superman logo chested that is inspired by Kal-El's cosmic roots. This collection also dives into the darker side of the DC universe with pieces featuring Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman, Joker's Arkham Asylum breakout moment, and the notorious Harley Quinn. Not to mention this Batman Gotham City's Protector jersey. I love how it gives off both comic and animated series vibes. But go shop the DC collection for yourself exclusively at spiritjersey.com. Again, they just dropped this week, so get them while they're still in stock. And just for our Variant fam, if you use code VARIANT, you'll score free shipping on orders over 100. Just click the link in our description to snag some goodies today. Alright, jumping back into Batman 160, we're then taken to a flashback of Bruce as a kid, breaking into his dad's medical bag, pulling out one of his scalpels. Thomas then walks in and finds Bruce holding one of his scalpels and says, "Bruce, what are you doing in here?" Bruce nervously drops the scalpel and only replies, "Father." But Thomas is able to catch it before it hits the ground and tells him this is very dangerous, particularly in the wrong hands. Bruce then says, "Tommy Elliot, the boy we took to Metropolis, he said your scalpels are the finest in the world." Thomas replies, "True, I have them made from a special metal found in the Middle East, Damascus steel. You see how it's perfectly balanced? It will not slip during surgery. Wayne Corps has now crafted them for anyone who needs them." Bruce asks, "Could you make something else with it?" His dad replies, "That takes time. Like what? A sword?" Bruce answers, "Tommy likes to play war games with the small metal soldiers. Do you think we can make a set for his birthday?" We're then taken back into the present where we see Bruce on his bat cycle saying, "My parents were murdered. The toy soldiers were never made. He knew I would remember." We're then brought to Jim Gordon's house where Batman continues to narrate saying, "Jim Gordon stopped me from killing the Joker one night." Another one of Hush's games. I wonder what he will think when he learns what I have done. Jim then walks over to his dining room table and sees a tablet on there with a post-it note that says, "A friend," with a bat symbol. Jim of course picks up the tablet and it starts playing a video. The video from the Joker that played for Batman back in issue 158. As Jim continues to watch the video of Batman freeing and saving the Joker's life, he says, "Oh God, anybody else, enough." He then turns off the tablet, at which point it explodes and sends him flying back. We're then taken to Gotham Tower where the Riddler has arrived to talk to Nightwing and Batgirl. Nightwing says, "So you don't only know Batman's personal identity." Riddler interrupts saying, "I know yours and Babs. In fact, all of your Bat family secrets." Nightwing asks, "How can we possibly trust you, Nigma?" He replies, "What time is it when an elephant sits on a fence?" Nightwing and Batgirl respond, "An elephant?" Riddler then says, "Never mind. I'd be more concerned that if I know, then who else knows?" Nightwing tells him, "Hush. None of us are safe. I need to get Jason." The Riddler then says, "Oh, I could solve that riddle. Going there isn't exactly what Hush wants. You need to stay together." Nightwing tells him, "I don't give a damn what Hush wants. Tell me where Jason is." The Riddler asks, "Question, how can you be in two places at once?" But at this point, Babs gets an alert from her father and jumps out of the clock tower to go check on him. Nightwing then answers the Riddler saying, "Answer, you can't unless there are two of you." Riddler tells him each of you have at least one person you care deeply about. An Achilles heel, that's where he'll apply the pressure. Elsewhere, we see Batman scaling Wayne Med Tower, one of his father's many legacies. And now somehow it's embroiled in his war with Tommy Elliot. When Batman makes his way through the window, he's greeted by a woman who says, "I was not expecting anyone, especially you. I've heard of Batman, of course, but didn't think you were real. How can I help you?" Batman then pulls out a scalpel saying, "This was made here. There should be a serial number. It's missing." He then says, "Who is it made for, miss?" She interrupts saying, "My friends call me Armor." And on the next page, she starts attacking Batman saying, "We're not going to be friends. You're doing that detective thing just like he said you would do." Is she a robot? Android? More like human with improvements. All you need is a responsometer, the gadget that controls metal and the right surgeon. She then attacks Batman with her liquid metal arms that looks like something out of the Terminator, but Batman kicks her saying, "How long has she been embedded here? How far did Hush plan all this?" She has to concentrate to hold her form. "I need to break that, need to break her," as he throws explosives near her to distract her and break her concentration. He then grabs her by the arm and says, "Where is he? Where is Hush?" But a voice just yells, "Stop!" Elsewhere, we see Nightwing scaling the Gotham City lighthouse, saying to himself what has no legs but could stand so high it can touch the sky. "He couldn't just tell me," referring to Riddler, and when he gets to the top, he goes through the window and sees Jason there with the Joker, as Jason says, "I'm a little bit disappointed that it's you instead of Bruce." As he starts shooting at Nightwing, Nightwing of course dodges. While he tells Jason, "Come with me," but Jason says, "Typical. You don't get it, Dick. Bruce shot at me with a gun," which he did in the last issue, but Batman specifically said only to crease him. Nightwing says, "What? I don't believe you." Jason responds, "I don't care. I'm not leaving. You're leaving. And I don't need these two to kick your ass." As he puts down his guns and starts fighting Nightwing hand to hand. Nightwing then uppercuts Jason saying, "What has Hush done to you?" Jason says, "Done to me? He's going to save me. You've listened to Bruce for too long. You think that his is the only truth." Nightwing responds, "Hush is manipulating you. That's his game." As he leg sweeps Jason, causing him to fall on his back, Nightwing then gets on top of him saying, "I'm taking you even if I have to carry you out." But out of nowhere, gunshots keep coming their way as Dick gets up and says, "Jason." Slowly, Jason replies, "Go to hell," as we see it's the Joker who once again is conscious and pointing both of Jason's guns at them. And he says, "I wanted to use this line for such a long time. Which one of you is faster than a speeding bullet?" Meanwhile, we're taken back to Batman, who's holding his ears while fighting a new villain, Silence, as he says, "Hard to think," his voice emits hypersonics, specifically my design. "I used them on Killer Croc when I first encountered Hush. Tommy has changed the game. Instead of working with Gotham's criminal element, he has surgically created his own allies. Whatever I have built, there is always a failsafe. That was Hush's first mistake. As Batman says, audio block on. Batman continues to say, the second was not expecting I would make some improvements of my own, as he ejects spikes from his knuckles and then punches Silence in the throat, while saying, time to put this madman down. But it does nothing to Silence as Batman punches him in the abs. He says it's like hitting a brick wall. Harder. He then tries to kick Silence, but he just catches Batman's leg as Batman says, unbelievable. His training familiar. Whoever, whatever he is, have to move now. And as Silence is about to ground pound Batman, Damian and Bane come crashing through the window with Damian saying, sick 'em, Bane. Bane then grabs Silence as Batman grabs Damian saying, why are you here with Bane? Damian replies, helping you. As Batman says to himself, has Hush gotten to him? He then tells Damian, I do not need your help. Bane, do not let him speak. Batman says to himself, who can I trust in all of this? Every maneuver calculated, exactly how Tommy plays. As we see Silence punch Bane getting the upper hand, and then going back to Batman as someone says check. And on the final page of the issue, we see it's Hush who's arrived and has a scalpel to Damian's neck as he tells Batman, it's a shame you can't be in two places at once. You have other knights in jeopardy. Any way you play this, Bruce, 3 Robins die tonight. And with that, the issue ends. Yeah, I gotta say, this is certainly the best issue of the series thus far. So much happened and there was so much that was set up. Is Jason Todd really dying and that's why he's working with Hush? Because Hush is the only surgeon that could heal his deteriorating brain injury, something that the Lazarus Pit couldn't even fix. What is the Riddler's agenda? We all know Riddler was the mastermind of the first Hush storyline, so is he the puppet master pulling the strings this time as well? And now that the Joker is no longer unconscious and pointing both of Jason's guns at Dick and Jason, where's that gonna go? And is he working with Hush or is he not? Then you got the fact that Damian Wayne recruited Bane to help Batman. How the heck did that happen? And lastly, but certainly not least, is Batman gonna save his son from Hush or the other 2 Robins? Because Hush said, no matter how you play this, 3 Robins die tonight. I'm very curious. This issue got me really excited for the series again because after issue 2, I was like, is Bruce really just gonna constantly save the Joker no matter what? Which I'm still a little upset about, but maybe Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee are playing the long game because in this issue, it was stated that Hush basically wants to show the world how Bruce can save the Joker, but not his partners and loved ones. And that's a really cool thing to play with, so I'm gonna hold all final judgments until the story concludes to see where they're taking us on this ride. But as I always say, those are just my thoughts. What do you guys think? Sound off in the comments section. Other than that, we will see you next time when we talk about all things comics.